I'm Ivan Judson, a solution architect at Harper. I spend my days helping customers understand how to apply our platform to their toughest problems. These Friday sessions are my way of sharing what I'm learning so you can see how Harper solves real world problems. Let's pull up a chair and talk about what I've been building this week. To kick it off, I want to share that I've been focusing on the developer's experience. What does it take to go from zero to full up and running with developers so you can build something on our platform? So this week's session is going to be focused on what it takes to build Harper, not to build a Harper application, but to use our tools to get up and running, locally developing. I'm going to make a couple of assumptions. I want to put them out there ahead of time. First is that you've got Docker installed. That's the only assumption I'm going to use at the moment. You've got Docker, so you can run containers locally. If you don't have it, you can go download Docker Desktop, install it. It will install all the tools you need to do what's going to happen in this episode. And the second thing is that you have Git and a command line and you know how to use them, which is a reasonably fair assumption for most developers today. So with that, let's get started. I'm going to share my screen and I'll show you exactly what's going to happen. Okay. So what you see here is a browser with a couple tabs open and nothing loaded because nothing's running. I am going to get my VS Code window up so you can see it because I have a little repo that I've built. That's how we do everything. I've got a Harper getting started repo. The URL to it will be in the description and the link of this video. In the repo, there's very little at the moment. There's a README, which you can see right here. And if I render it, super simple. It's just a batteries included toolkit. You can clone the repo. I obviously have to fix the repo, the README right there. Fix that. This is sitting in my personal repo at the moment. But now you can clone the repo. And once you get it up and running and you do the Docker deploys that I'll show you in just a second, you'll have a Harper instance that's running on your local machine at 99.25, and you'll have a Grafana instance that is pre-configured a dashboard pointed at Harper running on port 3002. I also have to update that. Pretty simple. The two things I'm going to show you are running a single instance of Harper with Grafana monitoring it, and then a 3-node cluster running with Grafana monitoring it. And then I'll show you how to download, check out our application template, and how to deploy it into both, into the single node instance and into the 3-node cluster, and what it all looks like. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today. Let's get started. First of all, you can see I've got Docker Desktop running up here, and there's nothing running. This is what it looks like when there's nothing running. I have got my repo here. You can see this is my getting started repo. It's the same thing that you see up there. It's got the README and the Docker directory. And I'm going to make this bigger so you don't have to figure out what's going on. So now if you're in here, you can see, hopefully it's the same here. Of course it's not. We'll make that one bigger too. We'll do the same thing again. This is in the same directory. I'll use it in a second, but you can see here's the getting started repo. I'm going to CD into Docker. I'm going to do a Docker compose up-d detached. I don't want to watch all the logging here, but I'm going to start the single instance of Docker on my Docker compose stack, which has one Harper instance and one Grafana instance. You'll notice on the thing above, the Docker desktop, Harper 0 fires up, Grafana Harper fires up, and then the Grafana setup that fires up is actually configuring the Grafana dashboard so you don't have to do anything when you get started. So if I come back over here, you'll see I can hit this. Here's my local fabric, my local instance. I've got my local studio pointed at my local machine, my old deployments that are sitting here. I can delete the stuff that I did before so we can start clean. So this is clean, running locally, it's all there. Now, if I come over here and I hit refresh on this, what you'll see is Grafana loads. It's pointed at my Harper instance, and all the metrics that Harper is exposing are represented on the dashboard. It's going to update every 30 seconds. It's going to show you the last hour of data. This is showing what was here before because things get cached. So that's up and running. There you go. 127.0.0.1 is localhost. That's how it shows up. Now, that's cool. I've got Harper running. I've got Grafana running. I can see whether or not my Harper is working, how it's doing. Now let's do the thing that we want to do. So in this other tab, in getting started, I'm going to clone the application template. Now I'm going to go into that application template and I'm going to deploy it. The thing to know is I have in my Docker scripts, in my Docker Compose, I have set my passwords everywhere to admin and Harper Rocks. So you'll see it there. What that means is to deploy, I am going to find the command. Because my history gets all connected. I'm going to deploy and set my admin username and password. So remember, there's nothing here. I hit deploy, I refresh, it shows up. I'm going to do a restart just to keep myself sane because I like to go fresh every time. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to say restart. Boom. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go HTTPS localhost index. Boom. There's the app deployed. Ready to go. That's what you can see. So within 3 minutes with a lot of talking, I was able to clone the repos, launch containers that contained a Harper instance and a Grafana instance configured to show you the performance of what's going on with them, clone the application template, deploy it, restart the server, and see it running. Now that's what you need to get started to build an app. Now, let's do it with 3 Harper instances and see what happens. So I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to say Docker Compose down. Boom, ripped it all down. All gone. I hit refresh, nothing. I hit refresh, nothing. Hit refresh, nothing. Now, on this side, you can say Docker Compose -- profile cluster up. Still going to do detached. Now watch that window. Harper 0, Harper 1, Harper 2, Grafana. All up and running. Takes a minute. These are replicating. So all 3 instances are configured to replicate everything, which means they will effectively operate like one logical cluster with 3 instances. Look at my Grafana dashboard. I'm waiting for stuff to show up. It takes a little bit for the data to show up. So it's there, but I can come over here and I can say sign in, same thing, admin, Harper Rocks. Log in. I got nothing here. Of course I don't. It's not there yet. Now I come over here and I do the same thing. Let's deploy. However, so let's deploy to our main cluster, successfully deployed, up and running. There it is. Now, because we're in a cluster, when I restart, I'm going to give it another argument. I'm going to say replicated true. Restarting. Now, if I come back over here, you can see Harper 0 is already reporting. Harper 1 and Harper 2 will come in over time. This is here and running. And now I have to tell it to go to HTTPS because it keeps forgetting that. Clearly still restarting. Now you can see on Grafana, all 3 are starting to report their data. And the only caveat here, if you know how to fix this, let me know, is that because of the way we are reporting the statistics, our statistics come in with the time series data for one cluster has one set of timestamps and one set of data. When we do 3 instances in the cluster, we have 3 sets of timestamps and 3 sets of data, and they don't line up across all 3 instances because they're snapshotting and running in an unsynchronized way for obvious reasons. So because that time series then looks like differing time and data stamps for each of the instances, Grafana needs a transformation that I don't know how to build in order to rationalize and fill in the gaps so that it's a complete data set and it can draw lines instead of just dots. So for now, it's showing the data, but it's showing it just as dots. I had to change to HTTP for this one for some reason, but there you go. And if I do replicated true, see it all starting, the app is there. Boom. So what did we do? What we did this week is we put together a very short little GitHub repo to help you get started. The bones of it, which are now correct, and I'll push up to GitHub as soon as I finish recording. The bones of the repo are the infrastructure for you to be able to use Docker Compose to build a stack that includes an instance of Harper and an instance of Grafana pre-configured to monitor your Harper instance. Within it, you can also, there's a second profile named cluster that you can instantiate, build, and tear down that deploys 3 instances of a Harper configured to fully replicate among the 3 of them, with the same Grafana instance monitoring all 3 so that you can see what's going on. And then I showed you how to clone and deploy the application to that running stack that you've built and deployed using Docker. So that should get you from 0 to functional in 5 minutes, full stop. Again, the assumptions are you've downloaded and installed Docker Desktop, and you have a Git command line at your disposal, and you can manage Harper once you get started. So with that, I'm going to say thank you, and I will talk to you next week. It's Thanksgiving this week, so I hope you're all having a good holiday, getting a break, and I will see you again soon. Remember, there's Harper and there's Harper fast. And we couldn't build what we're building without the rock star engineers that we have across this company. I'm going to call out Nathan. I'm going to call out Wes, and I want to call out especially Ethan Arrowwood, who's been driving a lot of our open source to make sure that you all have access to what we're building and what we're doing, and things are working. So with that, have a great week. I'll see you next time.